Hello and welcome. My name is Grace, and this is my hashtag 10 decks for Lent VR to Sylvain at Sylvain's Deadly Sins. And mine is okay. So I get it. Okay, we're closer to Easter than we are to Ash Wednesday. So, but this is my video contribution as to how my 10 decks for Lent is going. So let's begin. I watched Sylvain's video, and I looked at that and I said, 10 decks for Lent. Already I understood just from watching that video and contemplating doing the VR that this was going to be difficult. This was going to be difficult because I couldn't come up with more than 4 decks for Lent. I couldn't come up with more than 4. I'd hit 4 and it was like, well, to choose for, to do this exercise, so to speak, which opened up a whole can of worms. So as you can see from the title of this video, this is a tarot. This is a tarot Italian folk magic crossover video. So those of you who've been with me for quite some time know that I have been in the process of getting rid of decks. I had fallen into the consumerism and the accumulation and the madness and all that garbage. And I have been very public and very open with all of you, sharing my journey with divesting myself of the addictive tendencies, or the shopping addiction, the addiction to the FOMO, fantasy self, chasing after the perfect this, the perfect that. In this context, it would be the tarot deck. And it just converged all with this exercise. So first I'd like to thank my friend Sylvain for cooking up yet another excellent hashtag to play along. And this is how it played out for me. So as I was saying, it was very difficult for me to choose 10 decks. Right there, I knew something, right then and there, that was eye-opening. Right then and there, that was an opportunity, so I seized it. It also coincided with my friend and I doing a novena to St. Michael to cut cords. And in my, I started I can only speak for myself, so I can, I'll speak from my own experience. That I started a novena to St. Michael. Probably I think this is 3 weeks ago now. To assist me in cutting cords and, extricating myself from bad habits, whether they be things that I do or things that I consume and all that stuff, right? And for those of you who practice saint magic, the novena to St. Michael's for everybody. Okay, you don't have to be Catholic to pray a novena to St. Michael. You don't have to be a folk magic practitioner to do this. This is open to everybody. It doesn't matter what your religion is, okay? Because archangels are outside of, actually, archangels appear in multiple religions. So archangels are for everybody is what I'm trying to say. All right, that's it. That's my parentheses here. Interesting. Saint Michael is very powerful. He's one of my patrons, and in a following video, I'm going to talk about how you find out who your patrons are. So Saint Michael is one of my patrons, and one of my patron saints, and very powerful, very, very powerful. This novena has affected more than just the deck situation, but I'll tell you how it played out with the hashtag 10 decks for Lent and the novena to St. Michael. By the second or third day, oh no, I think it might have been even the second day of the novena, I cleared out almost all the remaining decks. And the process was painless. The process was detached. The process was easy. And if you're watching me and you find yourself surrounded by all these decks and they're causing you despair, grief, distress, whatever, guilt, making you feel bad about yourself, let me tell you one experience that is universal, and I've also seen viewers post in my comments. Once they're out of your house, you even forget what they were. Once you get rid of them, the only way you're going to miss them is if you continue feeding the monster. And by feeding the monster, I mean like you go on to YouTube and you're watching unboxings and you're watching people talking about these decks. Because when you're alone with your own thoughts and your own feelings, and you make a decision based on your own thoughts and your own feelings, you more often than not you'll find that what you're holding in your hands was either purchased out of FOMO, fantasy self, or it's somebody else's deck. And what I mean by somebody else's deck is that it was purchased because you wanted to have a shared experience with someone that you enjoy watching on YouTube. You know, it's human nature to want to have shared experiences with people. Oh my gosh, it's like marketing is it's a pillar of marketing. Why do you think celebrities endorse products? It's because you see a pair of shoes or something and your favorite celebrity says it's their favorite pair of shoes, well, you're going to go out and buy them because you want to share that experience with this person that you will never meet in person. There we go. Coffee. Okay. I couldn't get past choosing 4 decks for Lent. That was an opportunity I needed to seize. So let me tell you how it went. I was talking to my friend and she joked that she may very well end up with only 10 decks at the end of Lent, just from doing this exercise. And this is what happened to me. I chose my first 4 decks and I was stumped. And then I stopped. And I continued my novena to St. Michael. And I released many, many decks that I featured on my channel. Those videos are gone. Because I don't want to be promoting other people's FOMO fantasy self. And there's no point in the shared experience because I don't have them anymore. And this again is going to be a short video because now I'm going to go into the ones that I kept. Of all the decks that I had in my possession, I've kept 5 tarot. That's it. Just 5. Just 5 made the cut. Remember I told you I couldn't choose more than 4 for Lent? I ended up keeping 5. I can't even tell you how many I got rid of because these freaking things, these shits, they multiply in the night. You think you have a collection of 30, you remove 15, you go back, you still have a collection of 30. Those of you out there who are watching, who are, in this process, please leave a comment down below if you've noticed this. I think it's because the addiction aspect of it, we lie to ourselves, conceals. It doesn't allow us to see what's really going on. You know what I mean? It's like this is our own minds playing games with us. Because it just seemed like every time I removed 15, I still had like a total of 30. How's like that math doesn't even add up. I have 5. And I'll share with you so I'll share with you a little bit of history, and then I'll share with you what I kept. And I'm not going to share all 5 with you that I kept, because I'm not here to promote FOMO, fantasy self, and all that stuff. Anything that is not currently available will not be mentioned on my channel anymore. And that's pretty much where we're going to go with this. All right. So before, in 2017, when I first started watching TarotTube, I started out with 2 tarot decks and 6 oracle decks. And these 6 oracle decks remain on my shelf. They are very dear to me. They were from, way back when, from earlier on in my journey. And they're sentimental, and I hang on to them. And I've shared them in earlier videos. If you want to see what they are, I've shared them in earlier videos where I shared my original collection with 6 oracle decks and 2 tarot decks. That was more than enough. More than enough. But anyway, I kept those. I've kept those. And the 2 tarot decks I started out with were my grubby Morgan Greer and Mythic Tarot. And I hang on to Mythic Tarot because it's sentimental to me. I don't use it anymore. I used it when I first got it, and I probably used the guidebook more than anything else. Or I used the guidebook more than anything else. So if you're out there and you're thinking, oh my gosh, Grace kept Mythic Tarot, I let mine go, or I wished I had it, or whatever, let me tell you this much. First of all, you can get the guidebook easy. You can get the guidebook on eBay, or people are just selling the guidebook. You can, the new Mythic Tarot has the same guidebook, so you don't need the original art, whatever, of the deck, because honestly, in that case, what's gold is that guidebook. And I'm not a guidebook person, but that's the guidebook that taught me how to read way back when, in the mists of time. All right. What brought me to YouTube to look up tarot decks and then fall into the madness was the Centennial. I was in the market because my Morgan Greer was grubby. I was going on a bit of a book tour. This was pre-pandemic. I was embarrassed of my grubby Morgan Greer, which is ridiculous when I think about it. But I was looking for just a Rider-Waite deck, something that's recognizable to people. They see this, they know these images, if they've ever been for reading, right? And I was dissatisfied. I had just bought a yellow box. I was dissatisfied with how garbage it looked with the digital font, and a friend suggested this one, so I bought this one. But I didn't stop there. No, I was just curious. I was curious to see what the tarot people were doing, so I started researching tarot on YouTube, and that's when I fell into whatever. But this was the first tarot deck I had purchased in 20 years at that time. Should have stopped there. But I'm glad I didn't, because the next one I'm going to share. So I kept my 2 original decks plus this guy because, well, I've done hundreds of readings with this guy and kind of attached to it. The next deck I'm going to share with you is the reason why I don't need any others. I got rid of all my astrology decks. All my astrology oracle cards. Gone. Because I don't need it. Because I kept this tarot deck. I got rid of all my oracle decks. I don't use them. Because the next tarot deck I'm going to share with you has keywords. And I can use it as tarot. I can use it as oracle. I can use it as an astrological deck. I can use it magically for magical workings. And it is this. Let me show you something. And you know what? Okay. I'm a lover of vintage. And of course, it's like if ever I get my grubby hands on the opportunity to get a 69 Toth, of course, or 69 or 72. I can't. The one with the blue board, light blue borders, whatever. But this is the beautiful, this is the best printing of this deck. This and the current French language AGM that my friend Sylvain sent me. It is the most, this is the best, absolute best printing of it. Because the image, it's sharp, it's clear. Do I love the vintage ones? Yeah, I love the vintage ones, but they're not as high quality as the current US Games offering. Not as clear, not as sharp. Look at the colors. Look how beautiful this is. Seriously, it's widely available, and it has become, like my Centennial lives next to Morgan Greer because I don't reach for it anymore since I got my first Toth. I've been reading with Toth now for 2.5 years. And I am not a scholar. I am not a Toth academic. I only have, let me see. I read the book of Toth by Aleister Crowley, and it was a fun read. I don't recommend any. I don't recommend needing to read all those books before you can read this deck, this tarot. I think that I said it before and I'll say it again. Had I started with this one, it probably would be the only one I would ever own because it has everything. It has astrology, it has keywords, it has tarot symbolism, it has Kabbalah symbolism. It's got it all. It's got it all. It's mystical, it's magical, it's also very straightforward. It's I fell into the trap of the hug deck and all that bullshit, and it's like, no, it's not the deck that's a hug deck. It's the spirit that comes through the deck that is either that is the essence of the deck you're using. And of course, it's not that I believe, okay, I'll call it a belief because whatever. But as far as I'm concerned, spirits do inhabit my divination tools, your divination tools. There's no, it's what they are. They're divination tools. You can't have this kind of imagery in something and it not, to me, these are spiritual tools. They're mystical tools. They're occult tools. So there. The other deck that I kept is Animal Wise, that by Ted Andrews, which is also should be still available. And Marielle. Yeah. And then the fifth one I'm not going to share because it's not available. There's no point. I'm not going to cause I'm not going to well, no, actually, I don't know if it's still available. So I'll share it. But what I'm trying to say is that it's not for everybody. And it's the Mythologia Fennica tarot, which for me is also one of those decks that is tarot, oracle, and mystical, magical. So that's it, my friends. Hashtag 10 decks for Lent. I have 5 left. I have 5 left, and it feels amazing. And what's really amazing is that it's made me excited about tarot again. Even though lately I haven't been like reading much lately because, you know, I'm taking a little break. It's a little quiet time for me. It has reignited my love for tarot, and it has completely released me from that whole rat race of accumulation, consumerism. I can't even tolerate. I'm at a point right now. It had already started from before, but I'm telling you right now, I cannot tolerate any of the content that's out there that is just driving people to buy, whether it's tarot related or otherwise. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So if you've done the 10 decks for Lent on your own, whether you have a channel or not, please leave a comment below. Let me know how yours is going, but this is where I am so far. And yeah, it's been really interesting, but there's a lot of bullshit out there, and it's really exploded. Everybody and their mother and their dog is creating a tarot deck, and I don't want to be part of. I don't need to chase for anything anymore. If you're just starting out and you feel like you've come in at the end of something, well, you know, everything is cyclical. Like everything is cyclical. So yeah, you probably did come in at the end of one cycle and a new one is starting. If you're sitting there wondering, geez, which I'm a beginner, which deck should I, you know, which tarot should I start with? I would say start with this one, the Thoth. It's widely available, comes in different sizes. There's the cute little pocket Swiss. There's and it's all affordably priced. They cost as much as a book, right? Oh, and I did want to share with you. Sorry. The only guidebook I recommend is this one. So you're starting out, you're brand new. This is what I recommend. This a Thoth, and again, like I said, it comes in all different sizes. The only one I haven't seen in person is the standard size. I don't know what the dimensions are on that. I know there's the one that I have. I think my pocket Swiss is playing card size, and it's nice and sharp, so you could see the images, just like this one that's currently available. And this guidebook is published by U.S. Games. It's called The Crowley Tarot, The Handbook to the Cards by Akron and Hajo Banzaf. Yeah, I butchered that name, so here we go. So it's this one here. And, you know, there's a two-page spread for each card. I'm telling you. Save yourself a world of grief and a shitload of money. All right, my friends, that's it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.